Hello, welcome to English Day with Mary. In today's video, we are going to talk about the simple present tense. Let us first learn how to form the simple present. To form the positive, we follow the structure subject plus verb in its base form. We add s or es if our subject is singular. We need to make sure that our subject agrees with our verb. Meaning, if our subject is singular, then our verb must be singular as well. If it's plural or in third person, then the verb must also be in plural form. Let's have an example. She likes to eat sweets. Our subject is she, which is in singular, and our verb is likes, which is also in singular. As you can see, they both agree with each other. We cannot say she liked to eat sweets. Our verb is in plural form while our subject is in singular form. They do not agree. Therefore, this is incorrect. Our second structure is negative. We have the subject followed by does or do not plus the base form of the verb. Let's be reminded that does is used when the subject is singular and do is for plural. Here's an example. She does not like to eat sweets. Our subject is she, which is in singular, and also our verb, which is does, also in singular form, followed by the base form of the verb, like. And lastly, we have the question form. We start with does or do plus our subject followed by our base form of the verb. Example, does she like to eat sweets? Now that we know how to form the simple present, let's proceed to its uses. The first use of the simple present is to talk about people or thing with the verb to be. Let's have some example. I am a teacher. Our verb in this sentence is am. She is 20 years old. Our verb is. We are siblings. Our verb is are. And lastly, we have it is windy. Our verb is. Next, we can also use the simple present tense to talk about routines, habits, repeated action, or unchanging situations. Let's have some examples. She walks to school every day. Our verb is walks. And our time expression every day tells us how often she walks. And in this sentence, it means she walks to school every day. She does not take the bus or the train to go to school. She just walks. Next, he works in the bank. In here, for occupation or when we talk about work, we do not change jobs every single day. We do our job or we have our job for a longer period of time. So this is an example of an unchanging situation. Next, we like horror movies. The same with the second example. Our preferences do not change every single day. Most of the time, it runs for a long period of time. And lastly, we have Miriam takes the subway to work. If in our first sentence, the main mode of transportation is on foot. This time, Miriam's main mode of transportation going to work is to take the subway. Now let's move on to the next one, which is the time expression. We can use the time expression when we talk about or when we use simple present tense. For example, my mother goes to the supermarket once a week. Our verb is goes and our time expression in this sentence is once a week. Next, I often go to the park. Our time expression in this sentence is often and our verb is go. And lastly, we have he swims every 3 months. Now in here, our time expression is every 3 months and our verb is swims. In here, why is it important for us to use the time expression? When we talk about repeated actions, routines, or habits, it's very important to use the time expressions because it tells us how frequent we do things. And lastly, let's move on to the future timetables. So even though it says they're future, it does not mean that it is incorrect to use the simple present tense. So when we talk about future timetables, like we expect that this thing happened at some point in the near future, then we can use the simple present tense. Let's have some examples. Our bus leaves at 10 a.m. My flight is at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Now let's test ourselves. All we have to do is to complete the sentences using the simple present tense. Let's have the first one. Kate blanked to bed at 9 p.m. If you answered goes, then you are correct. Kate is singular, therefore we need a singular verb. Next, the train blanked in 10 minutes. If you answered arrives, then you are correct. This sentence expresses future timetable. Number 3, Carrie blanked to music every morning. If you answered listens, then you are once again correct. And number 4, they blank shopping twice a month. If you answered go, then you are correct. Our subject they is a third person, therefore this is a plural, and so we need a plural verb as well. And number 5, Lisa blank at the city hall. If you answered works, then you are correct. Lisa works at the city hall. Thank you for watching this video. Please make sure to like and don't forget to subscribe.